we have started a really beautiful campaign called Short Stories from the Front Line of Long-Term Care. And this week I have as a co-host Bob Spielman, and today we have on the show Kristen Roberts. Bob, will you please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about the program, and then we'll pass the mic off to Kristen to hear her cool story.
Yeah, so I'm Bob Spielman, Vice President at Foundations Health Solutions in North Olmsted, Ohio. And the program is just Peter's reaching out to talk to some frontline staff and to hear their stories about long-term care, how they got into it, why they're passionate about it, and to give get some good feedback from our frontline workers.
Great, thank you, Kristen. And I know I'm going to start off with an icebreaker that might shock you, but I'm guessing you're not in long-term care because it pays so well. So tell me why you're in this industry. It has to be something beyond the paycheck.
It's absolutely beyond the paycheck. I actually got into long-term healthcare. It was a requirement to get into a nursing program that I was in a few years ago, but with that, we did not have to pursue it, but I did. I chose to pursue it and make it a career pretty much. And I've always been helpful around the house. I have a disabled grandparent. So it just kind of, once I got into my first job, I just took it and ran with it, and I'm still in it and I love it. I love the smiles on my residents' faces, and it's really a joy to get to do what I do.
Do you remember what your first day was like?
Actually, my very first day as an STNA was in a previous job. I went to my first day of training, and the second day I was on my own. So they pretty much threw me in it. I was more than willing to jump right in and help, and they were confident in that.
What was the hardest part of the first day when you were thrown right in the deep end?
I don't know if there was really necessarily a hard part per se, but it was just getting used to the building. But after that first few weeks of work, it was like common nature to me, so it didn't bother me at all.
You must be an anomaly in your social circle. It's not at I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing you're in your low 20s. I'm guessing all of your friends aren't rushing to jump into long-term care. What do you tell them why you love this industry and why you plan to be here for at least the long term?
Yeah, none of my friends actually are in healthcare at all. But when they ask me about what I do for a living, I just explain my day to day. I help these people get up. I help these people go to bed. I'm sometimes the only person that they see in their everyday life. The most rewarding thing is when I can walk into a room and my residents just smile at me. They know that they're comfortable. They know that I'm there with them that day. And it's honestly just a joy. I don't know how else to describe it other than just enjoying my job.
Now, Bob, you haven't always been in the management level of long-term care. You also worked as a nurse's aide. Do you remember what was the most shocking thing to you your first day or your first week that you hadn't expected?
I mean, I just think the thing that got to me was that these residents are completely dependent on us, and so they're not there by choice. They're there because they need to be there, and that the heaviness of that I think sunk in. That just a basic daily task that they're dependent on us to do, and that just made me think we've got to make sure we've got people that are here for the right reasons, that are passionate about this, because if this is just a job, we're in trouble. We don't want those people working for us.
Kristen, is there any advice that you've received from any mentors or in my terms, long-term care heroes that have taught you and given you some advice as you've grown to fall in love with this industry, or advice that you've given to younger CNAs that are entering the field?
I guess I've always just been told to treat my residents as my own family, and I take that to heart 100%. I look at them as if they were my grandparents sitting at home on their couch if they needed help. And I also like to teach fellow STNAs to go the extra mile. It might seem what you think is extra, but that little bit of extra makes for a lot. It makes a lot of a difference in someone's life. I mean, they don't get to come out, and especially during these trying times of COVID, we are all they have. So you have to come in, you have to be ready to go and make their day. And you just got to get creative.
If you could go back and tell your younger self, give yourself a piece of advice, what would you tell your younger self?
Don't ever go in with a pre-planned day. It is never to plan. You can come in ready to go and something's going to come up. So just always take it for what it is, and whatever comes your way, just handle it with grace and you'll be fine.
Do you have a particular moment in your first year or first 2 years that stands out as just being absolutely memorable, where you remember the resident's name, what they said to you, or what happened, or the reason you all laughed?
There are quite a few. I've been doing this since 2012, so I can't really pinpoint one specific one. But it's always good for me when I hear. It's hard when my residents don't want me to leave, but it's also reassuring that they let me know, I want you here. I wish you could live here with me, or I could take you home with me when they get to discharge. But it's just really all about my residents. That's really why I do what I do.
Our industry has been kind of a punching bag for the last year or two, and there's a lot of bickering on social media about people who need to leave, it being burnt out, pays too low, vaccine mandate. You're still here, and it doesn't seem like you're leaving. What would you like to say to that 18-year-old or 25-year-old who's thinking about coming into long-term care? Why do you want them to join this industry with us?
It's like I said, it's a very rewarding career. It's very powerful. You have the opportunity to make someone's life that much better. It's not about the paycheck. You're not going to make, millions of dollars, but if you're wanting to truly take care of someone and get a positive reaction, this is where you need to be. And this is a good jump start to maybe furthering your nursing career, furthering into a hospital setting. Just don't give up. Don't give up, and take it for what it is. And it's not always about the pay. When you see a smile on a resident's face, that lets you know that you're doing what you should be doing.
In terms of your kind of direction in life and your purpose, what have you learned about yourself from working in long-term care?
Patience. Patience. I struggle with that, but being with these residents, you have to take a moment to breathe, let them talk to you. Yes, you might have a call light going off or a nurse needing your help, but just take that extra 2 minutes to breathe and listen to what they have to say.
And you, Bob, what would you say that you've learned about yourself?
That I'm grateful to have employees like Kristen working for us, and humbled, and passionate. I fell back in love with why I got into the business to begin with. And after you've been doing it for a little while, if you lose contact with the front line, it just becomes another job. And I have people like Kristen and to thank for keeping me grounded and passionate about this industry, and proud of what we're doing.
Kristen, what do you feel when you hear those words?
Happiness. This company has done so much for us as a whole. They truly believe in their employees. If they believe in them, then they know that their buildings are safe and taken care of. The communication is it's just impeccable. I couldn't ask for better, honestly. They've treated us very well and continue to treat us well. Thanks, Bob.
Well, I wanna wrap this up by saying thank you, Kristen, for sharing your story. And before I pass it off to Bob, Kristen, where can we find you any given Tuesday? At what time? Where are you at in the U.S.? What facility are you working at, and what's your role?
I am at Truman Point Care Center. It's in Hilliard, Ohio. And I'm an STNA. I've been here for 3 years, and I'm a lead STNA. And I don't see myself going anywhere. So you can always find me here.
Well, thank you so much. Bob, do you have anything else to add?
I'm very proud of you, Kristen, and thank you for loving on our residents and for doing what you do. And you are the secret to our success, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Beautiful words. Thank you, Kristen, for joining us. Talk to you soon.